Hello, happy Halloween. It's not actually Halloween, but for every day in October, to me, it's Halloween. I attempted to decorate my two shelves of my bookshelf. You cannot see them because I'm in the way, but it's there. And I decided to do a book tag, Halloween book tag, as the title says. I've never done a tag, and I've been wanting to do more book related videos, so here we are. And because this is 5 years ago, it's kind of old, and I decided to update it by adding a few more questions that I created. Let's just begin now. So the first question is carving pumpkins. Which book would you carve and light on fire? The Evermore series by Alison Noel. I read this in like middle school. It was during my angsty post-Twilight, read all of the supernatural YA kind of phases, and I read that series, and I read that series, which I usually don't do, but I did not like most of the books, and yet I kept reading them, and there's like 6 or 7 of them. Question 2 is trick or treat. Which character is a treat and which character is a trick? So for this, I'm gonna kind of like change it up a bit. I'm gonna use the same character that is both a treat and a trick. The Darkling. I love the Darkling and am super stoked that my childhood celebrity crush, Prince Caspian, is playing the Darkling in the Netflix series, which is just fantastic. I love the cast, but enough about that. If you haven't heard about the Grisha trilogy becoming a Netflix show, Where Have You Been? And go check out Lee Bardugo's Instagram or whatever. Yeah, a lot of other people have talked already about it on YouTube, so I'm pretty sure you've already seen it, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it. But anyways, especially loved him after reading The Demon in the Woods, that talked about him as a child and how he basically turned evil. He's a very complex character. I don't agree with what he does. So, the treat is the Darkling. The trick is his story, the Grisha trilogy. I did not like the Grisha trilogy for obvious reasons. I liked the first book, but then the second book and the third book kind of just like went downhill for me. Question 3, candy corn. Which book is always sweet? This one I chose Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Giving Tree. I feel like a lot of people know about this story. A lot of us read it growing up, but it's about that boy who meets this tree, and this tree basically donates its life to the boy so he can survive. And it's a great story. That book is always sweet just because of the message it has. Question 4 was ghosts, and it was, which character would you like to visit you as a ghost? And for this one, I was like, visit sounds too boring, so let's say haunt. Which character would like to haunt you? Which character would you like to haunt you as a ghost? That makes sense, yeah. And for this one, I chose Magnus from the Mortal Instruments. I'm not like a big Shadowhunter person. I've only read the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices, but I loved Magnus, and I think he would just bring a lot of entertainment to my life. So that's why I want him to be my personal ghost. Question 5 is costumes, and that's, what character would you like to be for a day? I would want to be one of the kids on the Polar Express, which takes away from Halloween and goes straight to Christmas, but I think it would be awesome. I'm gonna butcher this for sure, but another character I would like to be is from one of my favorite mangas, which is Kami-sama Hajime Shita. In English it's called Kami-sama Kiss, but it doesn't sound as cool. I would want to be the main character, Nanami, because she gets to own a shrine, she gets to hang out with cool familiars, meet interesting characters, so that's what I want to be. Number 6 is wizards and witches, and it's, what's your favorite Harry Potter moment? And I'm going to make a confession. I have not read all of the Harry Potter books. I know, shame on me. I didn't grow up with them. I grew up with different series based off of the movies. My favorite scene is when they first get on the Hogwarts Express, just because I find trains to be very magical. I really like that scene. And then I also really like the scene where Hermione transforms into Bellatrix. So I think those are my two favorite. Number 7 is Blood and Gore. What book was so creepy you had to take a break from it? And I do not read creepy books. I'm not a big fan of horror, blood and gore kind of things. In fact, I'm afraid of blood. So I kind of changed it to say not creepy, but disturbing, because I have read a few disturbing books. Where We Go When All We Were Is Gone by Sequoia Nagamatsu. It's a collection of his short stories, and the short stories range from like Japanese folklore to Godzilla and all those monsters in that realm, and like that kind of stuff. And I read like the first 2 stories, just got kind of a bit disturbing. So I put it down and never picked it up and got rid of it. So moving on, let's just move on. So those were all of the original questions from the tag. Now the rest are ones that I created. Okay, so number 8, I had to include my favorite mythological Halloween creature in here, and that is vampires. The way I phrased this question is so dumb and cheesy, but it's vampires, and it's what book had an ending that sucked the life away from you, good or bad. And for that, I put both The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King by Holly Black. I've already talked about this series so much. I'm just in love with it. So the next question is Haunted House, and it's which book had the most twists and turns you didn't see coming? And for this, I chose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. So it's been a while since I've read that book, and I haven't read the sequel, so no spoilers yet. I know I'm very, very behind. Number 10 is werewolves. And this question I feel like is so dumb, but it kind of goes with werewolves. But it's what book or story, whatever, what book did you really enjoy in the beginning, but then towards the middle and the end, it kind of changed directions and you ended up disliking it? And for that, I could say the Grisha trilogy, because I've already talked about that. But anyways, moving on. Another book that I really like the ending, but then towards the middle and end, it just kind of like became very generic and I ended up DNFing it, is The Girl at Midnight by Melissa Gray. And this is a book that I feel like not a lot of people know about, but it pulled me in because it had like these dragon people. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember. I just remember it was such a good book in the beginning, and the 2 main characters were kind of on opposite teams, and then they had to team up together. But it just like insta-love happened, and then like the plot changed from like focusing on like the big issues at hand to like the romance, and I was not for it. Number 11, question 11 is Frankenstein, and it's which 2 characters from 2 different stories would you love to see in the same story? For that, I chose Hal from Howl's Moving Castle and Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series. They both have a very ethereal personality, and they both have magical aspects to them. I'm not sure like which kind of world they would live in. If they live in like, you know, Hogwarts, that kind of thing. Oh my god, imagine Hal like a professor at Hogwarts. That would be interesting. Or if Luna went into Hal's world. I'm not entirely sure, or if they have their own world. I didn't think this through, but I think they would make a very interesting duo to read about. So I put them together. Okay, and then the last question, number 12, is which character or characters would you love to celebrate Halloween with? Persephone and Artemis from the Lore Olympus webtoon. Persephone could create a really cool outfit for me, which is like a click of her fingers. A snap. Why do I say click? A snap of her fingers. And Artemis is just like, seems really cool to hang out with, and I would love to hang out with her. And just them together would be a lot of fun. All right, so that is all for the Halloween book tag. I'd love to see other people bring this tag back to life. Use the questions that I made, make up your own questions, use the questions in the original one. It'll be fun. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Why do I always do that? I'll see you in my next video. Happy Halloween.